I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I would beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties. We're rich, baby.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the fifth round. As always, your boy, Stephen Moustaris. And man, I'm sitting here Monday morning, just got back from the gym. I'm sitting here just absolutely dying to talk about UFC 280. I actually ran into a random person I've never met before in my life at the gym, and he heard me talking to my workout partner about, just certain fights and how I thought they ran, and he came up to me and talked to me a little bit. So it was pretty cool. I'm loving the buzz around right now of people wanting to talk about MMA, and especially the UFC or Bellator, whatever one you want. I'll talk about them all. But UFC 280, like I said already, it was funky starting at 2 p.m. here in Ohio or anywhere in the U.S. You know, it was funky there walking out of the bar with the light, with the sun still out. Instead of it being 1 a.m., it's 5 p.m. So that part was pretty cool. But man, I already did a video apologizing to Bilal Muhammad because I used to think he was the most boring fighter in the UFC. But with UFC 280's performance, he definitely proved me wrong on that aspect, which I'll be the first one to admit, fucking solid. But I do, before I start getting into like the main topics, I do really want to bring up the Beneil Dariush and Mati's Gamrot fight. Man, I don't know where to begin. First of all, Beneil Dariush, I was sitting there the entire time up to it because, I mean, for people following MMA, Beneil Dariush has had one of the roughest patches of anybody in 155, unless you want to count Tony Ferguson's losing streak. But to be honest, he's had probably the roughest run at 155 that I could think of in a while. Like, a while, man. Whew. Yeah, off the top of my head, yeah, dude. Because Beneil Dariush is on like 11-fight win streak, 12-fight win streak. I think the longest I believe it's the longest in 155 history, or it's close to, or he tied it or something. He was on a crazy win streak. I knew that. And, I mean, the dude has beat everybody they put in front of him. He's had some of the craziest comeback from behind finishes of all time. I mean, he used to watch this guy, and he was so good on the ground, jiu-jitsu and his grappling, that his stand-up was never, like, up to par. And then now you got this guy who looks, used to look kind of awkward throwing punches, and now dude's doing damage. He's loving the knockouts. He's loving the takedown defense. He's loving takedown. He loves every aspect of fighting, all while he's got gray hair and he's looking like he's 60 and he's beating your ass. So, like, it's just super impressive. I felt bad for him all the way leading up. We all know he should have fought Islam Makhachev last year, and instead he fucking blew out his ankle or whatever happened, snapped it, and he had to sit out a whole year and some change. And then instead of them throwing him like a Justin Gaethje or a Dustin Poirier or, a Michael Chandler or anybody up there in the top 5, a fucking Fiziev, somebody that he should deserve with ranking, they say, no, you know what, dude, we're gonna punish you, and we're gonna have you fight Khabib's maybe without Islam, especially at 155. It's a number 2 guy in their camp, but Khabib even says he thinks he's the number 2 guy behind Islam already, just in the camp already. So, like, that's not doing any favors. His last performance, Gamrot's last performance of that fight night, dude, let me tell you what, against not Sarukian. Yeah, Sarukian, I think it was. Yeah, that fight, man, was some of the highest level MMA I've watched in forever. So I kind of thought, Beneil Dariush coming off a long layoff, I thought Gamrot was going to get him. The young up-and-coming fighter is going to take all the steam away from this old guy. At least that's what they say, the old guy compared to him. So, I was sitting there sad. I was like, man, I want Beneil to win so bad. He deserves it. I'm a big believer in MMA, the MMA gods getting these guys' back. And, boy, from the first couple minutes, you could tell how good this fight was going to be. The takedown defense of Beneil Dariush was ridiculous. Like, this seriously, this was probably the first time we've ever seen somebody completely nullify the Dagestani wrestling. Like, honestly, like, and people dog me for this, but if we look back, Conor McGregor did a really good job of at least keeping Khabib's wrist control and not letting him pass. Like, he got taken down, but the first 3 rounds before he gassed out, the dude was doing very well on not letting him get, switching positions and getting better control and whatnot. So that was the first time. And then this was, other than that, this is it. This is if you want to count Al Iaquinta, Raging Al Iaquinta versus Khabib that one time, but it was a short notice fight, so I don't hold it on Khabib. It was a whole different style of fighting of what he thought he was going to get into, so I don't add that. He still got him down, still won the fight, but like this is the first time Beneil Dariush showing that, hey, there is levels to this shit, and there is ways that we can nullify this wrestling. And boy, was it phenomenal. I thought Beneil looked so fucking good. I don't want to spend too much talking about the actual fight because, I mean, most people watched it, and he did phenomenal. And it was a back and forth. It was close, but Beneil definitely, I thought, won all 3 rounds. Just took the soul out of Gamrot. And, man, like, what's next? What do you do now? You're Beneil Dariush. You've done everything the UFC has given you in front of you, and you've passed every test. Yeah, you got hurt before you're supposed to fight Islam. I thought he actually could have done really well against Islam. I don't think he maybe would have won, but I think he would have looked really well, especially if you saw the takedown defense and the flexibility out of that man on Saturday night. There was a couple times where Gamrot had the deepest single leg that you could possibly have. His head, the dude's leg was above Gamrot's head. Dariush's leg, and this man's still standing up, not even moving, flexible as fuck, looked phenomenal. The scrambles he was winning, everything, he looked phenomenal. And I just want some respect on Beneil Dariush's name. I know he's not the most exciting fighter. I mean, he's not Sugar Sean O'Malley, which I know they're not in the same division. I get that, but I know he's not like Oliveira. I know he's not like Gaethje. I know he's not like Michael Chandler, but the dude's just maybe not as athletic as them, but he still puts on great performances, and he's probably more of a dog than those guys. And yeah, you might fucking come at me for that, but I like the silent killers like Beneil Dariush. Like, you got the Connors, the Michael Chandlers now, these guys that are good on the mic, and they're still killers, don't get me wrong, but they almost talk a meaner game. I'm more for the Beneil Dariush's in this world, the Peter Yans. Even though we'll talk about him, but like the Islam Makhachevs, these guys that are so fucking quiet, and they just be like, okay, talk your shit, I will kill you, I finish you, I smash you, and that's what I love about these guys. So, Beneil Dariush, I'm on the front row for your war call right now. I'm your number one troop. I'm leading it right now. I've been leading it. I don't think you deserved a title shot before last night, but dude, like, what else are we supposed to do? I know Volkanovski's gonna go fight Islam, but like. And I think Dustin Poirier and Chandler are literally like a month away. So, like, let's get Gaethje, Dariush. I would love that fight. Charles Oliveira now against Dariush. Love that fight. Like, there's a lot of fights out there we could do for him. Fiziev needs a fight, but I don't want to see Beneil Dariush go down anymore in ranking. Like, this man should be fighting the top 3. That's it. Like, and the only reason you should be fighting that is because he can't get the title fight next because they're already clearly doing the Volkanovski and Islam fight. So, I don't know, man. Beneil Dariush, shouts out to you. Keep doing your fucking thing. I'm just hoping that you finally get your calling moment, your Oscar-winning moment or so. I hope you get those moments because I know the fight game is so fucking crazy, and this is the thing that really is rough. Like basketball, like NBA, football, all these things. Like, yeah, there's only one season a year. Like, you only have one true champion a year. But all of those sports, you see these guys perform. Football, it's 17 games before the playoffs, and some if they make the playoffs. And that's if they don't get hurt and stuff. But still, if you're, your star quarterbacks like Tom Brady and these guys that have a chance to prove themselves have, 17 games or plus some if they're in the playoffs to prove their worth to the fans and everything. And yeah, they might not win, but, they're getting the MVP, they're getting the money, they're getting the contracts. NBA, 82 games in the season, plus some if you make the playoffs. Like, dude, you know how many fucking times we get to see those guys play in a year, let alone 10 years? In MMA, like, especially, you get up to the top 5 guys, top 3 guys, dude, we're going to see you fight once or twice a year, and 3 years later, I've only seen you fight 4 or 5 times, but you went from being 33 to 36 now, and you're pushing, and you're almost falling out of your prime, and you're getting slower. So it's like, I feel so fucking bad for these guys, and I really hope the clock for his career doesn't push against him, because he is getting older, and I know he looked older than he is because of the gray hair, but he is getting older, and he's running out of time. He's been in a lot of wars, and I just hope that the MMA gods really do get to, at least give him his shot and not look over him. So, but hey, 5th round as always, Stephen Moustaris. And let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.